dogs. What do you think the difference was near the end?
I think they, had a little more certainty where they were going to get their shots from, and kind of hung with it a little bit better. I didn't love some of our possessions at the end of the game. They're obviously a great defensive team, and you just have to have a little more wherewithal on offense. And then, I think, a critical stretch in that game, we get a lead. Down the stretch, you want to manage that a little bit better. And I thought we got Cryer 2 3-pointers in a row, and kind of later in possessions, it might have been a late ball screen. It might have ended up with a cross-match situation, just, because crazy things happen sometimes late in those possessions. And you can't give their best shooter a wide-open three-point shot, especially, at any time, but especially when you have a lead.
Do you feel like defensively, it was such a defensive game in the first half that just, maybe let up a little bit in the second half, you guys?
We made a few mistakes, and they made a few shots, and, they probably, probably went through all their Rolodex of things they were going to do and maybe found a few ways to attack us. But we played well enough defensively to win the game. We rebounded well enough to win the game. You got to play better offense, and that's easier said than done against Houston, but we're capable of playing better offense than we did today.
You guys have been solid at the free throw line most of the year. 10 for 10.
Tough. There's crazy stuff. They're telling us KJ shooting free throws, and at the last second they're switching Henry to do it. Weird stuff. There was a review. We asked to get reviewed at the end of the game with 30 seconds to go. They didn't even look at us. And you guys watch these games. Everything gets reviewed at the end of the game. I don't know. There's some tough stuff like that. The officials weren't the problem, but there were some weird situations down the stretch of the game that just make you scratch your head a little bit.
Last couple games, there's been some struggles with live ball turnovers. What do you think is causing that?
You're playing against some dudes, good players. They're active. They have good hands. And, Houston's the best team in the country at turning teams over and creating a turnover margin. So, I think you got to give your opponent a lot of credit on that stuff. And listen, we could play with better habits and better fundamentals. I think Caleb had a bunch of passes tipped today. He's got to be better than that. He's got to be better in that situation. I don't care what he shoots. He should never get a pass tipped. And he's got to be better than that in those situations.
It was kind of a difficult game for him today. What did they do to limit him?
I don't know if they did anything in particular. I just felt like Henry kind of gave us some options out there and was looking pretty good. And we had a lead. That one group was good, and so we kind of rolled with it a little bit. I don't think it was, maybe Tobey didn't get enough opportunities today, but he was fine out there, and I thought Henry had some stretches where he looked okay as well.
Kelvin had said that Houston, or one of the players said that Houston usually passes up a good shot for a better shot, but later in the game they went more into taking that good shot first. Did you notice that?
Listen, I think both teams were playing great defense, and you're right. That's a great mentality. Against Houston, we probably turned down too many shots. Because the first good shot's probably might be the best shot you're going to get, and you wait to get deeper in the clock, and you end up, basically. The clock's ticking, and you have the ball, and you just have to hoist one up there. So, yeah, I guess that's a good adjustment against them. And they got downhill and hit a couple tough floaters, and that's a credit to them and their players making good plays.
Kelvin talked a lot about playing the game at their pace. Is that something that it's hard to control on your end?
Yeah, listen, you don't get to go up against Houston, especially if it gets a set defense, and you don't get to pick and choose your shot you want right away. So what happens is they're so good defensively, the possessions are longer. That's what shortens the game. And then they might walk the ball up the floor here and there. We got in transition plenty in the second half, and we got a lead getting in transition. So, sometimes it's the ebb and the flow of the game. And, obviously we want to get in transition when we can because we think that's against Houston. It's a lot easier to score 3-on-2 than 5-on-5. I don't think it's like anything earth-shattering, So, yeah, that's how they always play. That's how we always play. It was a collision of styles. It was a even game, for the most part. Till the end, they kind of got that 5-point lead, and we tried to rally back. And I'm still disappointed. We have a 7-point lead, and I thought Henry made a great play on the ball, knocked the ball loose. We pick it up in transition, and they called a foul. You know what I mean? Those games change in those plays. I thought KJ had a ball inside right in front of our bench. He got fouled. And literally right in front of us. And, those are tough. Those are tough plays against Houston. When you have your margin for error is so small, those things add up.
The three-pointers haven't been falling for a good portion of the season. How do you approach that as a coach? You say, look, keep shooting, they'll go in, or?
Shoot good shots. Shoot good shots. You got to shoot good shots. You know, I mean, that's it. We got to shoot good shots, and you know, you got to live with the make or miss. And obviously, guys, it's no secret. I'm not telling anything crazy. We're not the best three-point shooting team you've ever seen. This is not the 2017 Golden State Warriors. We're a gritty team, and it's a little bit ugly sometimes, but that's just how we ended up being built, and we're okay with it. We've won a lot of games doing that. So, I thought we had some good looks at three. It would have been nice if a few extra ones would have went down. Obviously, the last couple of games would have made a huge difference, but they're not. But we're still in the game, giving ourselves a chance to win. And at the end of the day, in the Big 12, that matters. I'm not a guy that's going to sit here and say, we've got to make 10 threes to win the game. No. We just got to score more points than the other team. And we had an opportunity to do that today, and we didn't. And Houston gets credit, and hopefully we can learn from it.
Although it wasn't the result that you guys wanted, Carter down the stretch made a couple big buckets to keep you in the game, just his development throughout the season.
Carter's obviously gotten a lot better. Carter's doing a great job. He's right where he should be for a talented freshman. And I told him, you're getting put past the point of freshman, with the experience you have now. So let's step up in these games and make fewer mistakes and see if you can just have a little bit more solid contributions. But he's definitely trending in the right direction.
And late in the game, your team, coach, kind of struggled converting free throws at crucial moments. How do you plan to address that moving forward, especially that you guys lost by 4?
What do you want me to do? Want me to punish the guys? Should I run them? The guys want to make them. We're a good free throw shooting team. They didn't. And what I was disappointed in is they have a foul, and KJ, what's KJ shooting? 85? He's 85% free throw shooter, going to the line for a one-on-one. They say 5 is shooting. 5 is shooting, 5 is shooting. He got undercut on the play. Another ref goes and reviews it, and they put Henry up there. That's kind of tough to swallow, like when you're sitting in my seat, and then the one ref comes to you and says, yeah, we had 5 shooting. I don't know why I guess he went and reviewed it, and they changed it to 13. Those are tough plays when you're sitting in my seat to have to swallow.
They usually run teams down at the end. Do you think that happened to you?
For sure. We're playing guys a lot of minutes. We could have got worn down a little bit, and they could have been worn down a little bit. You know what I mean? Those are hard-fought games. Those are battles. It's a battle. It's a war. Whatever analogy you want to use, it is. And we're at where we're at. And we're putting players out there that we think give us the best chance to be successful, to win the game in that moment. And, maybe they're a little bit tired, but I know this. If you want something bad enough, there's always something left in the tank. I know that.
Season, when you played Houston, they were physically and defensively a little bit more just dominant than the program at the time. Now, where you guys are at, do you feel better in terms of closing that gap and possibly?
Listen, hey. Obviously, Houston's a great litmus test to see where we're at. And guys, I don't sit here every day saying all I think about is we got to be better than Houston. No, we want to play that way too, our own version of it. And I think we did in long stretches today. Okay, we just gotta figure out a way to play a little bit better offensively against a great defensive team. And I know I'm not the only head coach that's sitting here saying that. So they get a ton of credit. How long's Kelvin been there now? Okay. You know what? You know how long it took him to establish that? It takes a while. The stuff just doesn't happen overnight. You're building a culture. In this day and age, you know how hard it is to build a culture, to build a style of play when there's so many changes going on? So we're right. Arizona basketball is right where it should be. We're knocking on the door. We're not there yet, but we're going to be. We're going to be. We just got to keep plowing ahead. We got to keep plowing ahead. And that's going to be my focus, is just keep plowing ahead. And you know what? Next year, I want to be better than this year. But this year, I think this team's got a lot left in the tank. And I can't wait to see how they show up tomorrow for practice. And I can't wait to see how we go play at Baylor. Because you know what? You guys all think we're going to go get our ass kicked at Baylor. You guys do. You guys think we're going to get our ass kicked at Baylor because we're tired. We've been on a long stretch. We're going to play on the road game. Our heads are going to be down. Let's see what team shows up. We might get our ass kicked Monday. And then we got to keep moving. But we might not. I want to see what we have. I want to see what our guys are made of. I want to see how they respond. Our season's not going to be determined today by what happened, but how we respond might have a lot to do with where we go. And so, win or lose today, we got to move forward.
On that short turnaround, is this going to feel like maybe the old Pac-12 2 and 3 with the travel?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah. You think we can practice tomorrow? I mean, my guy over here we should be running lines for missing free throws. I got to worry about having a team that has energy Monday night. So we got to figure out how to come, get ourselves organized, figure out our game plan, get on the plane, and go compete on the road in a crazy environment Monday night.
You figure you'll practice here and then go, or how are you going to?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Practice, or you
I mean, Bruce, I'll text you the script in the morning, and you can see if it's regular or not. I mean, like.
What you're saying about wearing them out, you have to be cautious with practice.
Yeah, I mean, Bruce, we're going to come and we're going to put in a game plan. You know, it's crazy this time of year. You don't have to like run up and down to practice. You can actually go on the floor. You can watch film, and you can learn that way. You can walk through stuff. You can do that. So, we have a lot of bullets, that we've shot. So we have a lot of reps, and hopefully we can go figure out how to put in a game plan without wearing our guys out.
On the subject of what's left in the tank and so forth, do you think Jaden is feeling cumulative effect of playing a ton of minutes?
Maybe. I mean, he hadn't said anything to me. Jaden's a competitor, and, we're at where we're at, and we need Jaden to be great. I mean, I know this. Maybe you call him dog days, maybe call him that. I know JB's going to be right, when this team needs him to be right. And I don't think he's far off right now. Maybe he didn't play good the last couple games. I don't know. But I'm sweating it. He's my guy, and I'm rolling with him.
Last question. Got a minute left or so. They're up by 1. JB fouled Arsenault on that. What's your take on that situation? Do you want your guys to play normal defense? Do you have to be a little more careful?
What situation was that?
58 seconds left. They were up by 1, and Arsenault was driving, and JB fouled right on the line.
Close call. Close
About
play.
5.
50-50. Jaden almost had the jump ball.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, were we at 5 or 16 fouls? Did he shoot free throws? Yeah, I mean, Bruce, I don't exactly remember the play, so I don't want to obviously with the bonus, we don't want to foul, but I think you see in those games, at the end of the game, you can't be afraid to play defense, because I think they're going to err on the side of maybe not calling the foul. So, we're going to be physical, and we're going to stick our nose in there. All right, thanks, guys. Thanks, Coach.
All right, questions for Caleb, KJ?
Was it as physical as we saw it? How tough was it?
Yeah, it was definitely physical. We knew that coming into the game. And, we had our, mind on, it was going to be physical, bodies going to be dropping. But, I feel like we, gave it our best shot. And, we just kept coming. They kept coming. And, ultimately, that we came up short.
KJ, Tommy seemed to think you were supposed to be going to the line in that one situation, and then it ended up being Henry. Do you know what happened on that?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought I was going to the line too, but they went in back to review and they say Henry was shooting, which is all good. I mean, I got faith in Henry to make free throws, so it really wasn't a big deal to me. But I thought it was me too.
This was pretty much a 50-50 game until the last few minutes. What do you think the difference was down the stretch?
I think, obviously the missed free throws that we had, I think kind of hurt a little bit down the stretch, and then feel like we couldn't score a little bit for maybe a few minutes straight. We didn't get a bucket, and then we couldn't get a stop. So, I mean, credit to them. They were running, timely sets for, timely or for the players that were, scoring. And then we had to be better on offense, or we could get an easy, find an easy bucket.
For you guys, is it better or worse that you have a game in 2 days on the road in a hostile environment? Would you rather have some time off or play right away?
I think it's better, get our mind off it, because we got to have next play mentality. We got a good team where we, playing against, and obviously we beat them here, and so it's definitely going to be a tough one going on the road. Any game in the Big 12 is tough, so I'm glad we, short turnaround, and we'll be ready on Monday.
In that same vein, this is the first time that Arizona's lost back-to-back games since the Bahamas. What's the message to the rest of the locker room just to, stay together and play well at Baylor?
Just what Caleb said, next play or next game mentality. We remember the feeling when we were 4-5 in the Bahamas, having that chip on our shoulder when everybody kind of doubted us. And, we're just going to go into that to Waco with that same mentality. We got to have a quick turnaround, a quick mindset because, we said we got a good one on Monday and it's away, so.
Is that it?
This season, we've really seen a lot of improvement on the defensive end. Is there something different that you've been working on, different techniques, things like that? Last week, I think we talked with Tommy, and he said that he's been challenging you to kind of step it up on the defensive end.
Yeah, just giving more effort, giving what the team needs, and that's exactly what the team needs is my defense. And then just feeding off these guys and their energy, KJ, JB, CB, all those guys giving that extra effort, and me just pitching in and taking it personal for whoever I match up with. They not getting their average or they're shooting inefficient and things like that. So and then helping the helper. So I think just giving that extra effort and having that want-to mentality.
Elliot, Sports 360 is Caleb and then KJ, playing alongside one another. How has it been kind of getting you to know each other's games and understand what each other wants to do?
It's been great. Obviously, we had a year and about a year and a half under our belt now, and so just knowing where KJ is on the court when I drive, I know he's cutting. If I drive towards him, I know he's gonna be open or away. Just finding him in transition for him to get easy dunks, easy layups. And then also him just finding me in transition, finding me on, throw-ahead threes or in the corner on certain sets. And so we definitely got, a lot of chemistry. Obviously, we, connected on and off the court, so that helps. And, it's been great playing alongside him.
He said it best. We've been playing with each other for a year and a half now. The chemistry is going to continue to grow. And he just makes the game easier for everybody on the court. Definitely a magnet for defenses. So it helps everybody on the court, get what we need. And then he's also a spark on both sides of the ball. And, you love playing with a guy like him.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Fish.